This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
The stakes have never been higher. The competition has never been stronger. 42 drivers, 25 rounds. One will be crowned champion. Competition. Commitment. Excitement. This is Lionheart. You're watching the premier American Open Wheel Series on iRacing. The Lionheart IndyCar Series presented by First Medical Equipment starts now.
Sponsored by First Medical Equipment. Competition, commitment, excitement. This is Lionheart, streaming cyberspace into your place from Richmond Raceway. The Global Sim Racing channel brings you round 17 coverage of the Lionheart IndyCar Series 2019 Championship. It was a topsy-turvy day for many of the championship contenders last time out at Michigan International Speedway. Out of the top 5 in points, second place Dan Guerin was the top finisher, posting, get this, 15th. Point leader Adam Blocker finished 17th, Michael Goodman 25th, Justin Weaver 28th, and Andrew Kinsella 29th. Big Joe Hassard outdueled Tony Schowen and Brian Yazek to get the win. Will order be restored, or will the shakeup continue? Find out now as all the simulated IR18 action from green flag to victory donuts of the Richmond 200 presented by Midwest Simulations streams your way live as it happens right here on the iRacing Esports Network. From Old Dominion, hello and welcome to another GSRC broadcast and the Sim Experience Countdown to Green over the next 15 minutes. GSRC will bring you all the storylines, all the stats and facts you'll need to appreciate the Richmond 200 presented by Midwest Simulations. That will immediately follow as we indeed count down to green. Up in the booth to bring you our Words Eye View, it's former real-world IndyCar driver Richie Hearn, joined by yours truly, Bill Soup Chazan. I'm Jed Yaman, has director duties armed with cameras locked and loaded by Dougie Beard. Now, as mentioned, this is the Richmond 200, and it is presented by Midwest Simulations. And I'm happy to announce that we have one of the guys that's responsible for that, as we're going to talk right now with Scott Rupp, who knows a little bit about our title sponsor tonight. Scott, what is Midwest Simulations all about?
Yeah, well, I started Midwest Simulations a couple years ago in the Iowa area here, central Iowa. We started out with a homemade motion rig and take to events and things like that, and we've expanded over the past just few months to the product market. See a lot of the Lionheart guys are running a product that we developed. Dan Guerin, there's the title sponsor. He's got it on the side of his car. Product called Spotlights. It's a visual spotting system that uses 2 lights, one on each side of your monitor, that helps show when cars are present in your blind spots.
Oh, but I'd like to hear my spotter. Can I still hear my spotter when I use it?
Absolutely, yep. It doesn't interfere with any of the spotter audio, any add-in packs, anything you use. It's completely standalone,
Wow.
very, very little resource load on your computer. You really don't even notice it's running, but I can tell you when you're on the track, it makes all the difference.
So it's not only you get the audio alert from the spotter, but you get the visual alert from your product. What's the product called again?
Yeah, the product is called Spotlights. You can find it on our Facebook page or on our web page at www.midwestsims.com. And we're actually running a special for Lionheart fans right now. If you use the code LIONFAN, all one word, no spaces, you'll get $10 off each set that you order.
Outstanding. And we have a lot of viewers. You better get the boys in the office, because I bet you get some calls coming up starting tomorrow. Hey, thanks a lot for talking to us, and thanks for doing what you do. All
Yep.
our iRacers are grateful for it, man.
Thanks a lot, guys. Looking forward to a great show tonight.
Scott Rupp from Midwest Simulations. All right, we are at Richmond right now. Now, Richmond, this is the 4th appearance on the Lionheart schedule. Richmond showed up in season 1, season 3, and season 6. It has produced 3 different winners, and once again, I think we're going to have another first-time winner, because the other winners, which would be Tim Doyle, Daniel Roper, and James Grahula, none of those guys are competing in the series currently, so I think we're getting another first-time winner here today. Richie, what are your thoughts about this place?
Yeah, thank you, Soup. And as you know, we're at Richmond International Raceway, located in Richmond, Virginia. It is a true D-shaped oval, 3/4 of a mile length, so it's just a little bit of a 16-second jog around this track in these fast Indy cars. Very tricky, 14 degrees banking in the corners, and but it's very wide, so you will get some 2 and 3 wide action. Unfortunately, though, it is very, like I said, tricky. Coming off of turn 2, it tightens up really quick. And probably one of the harder spots that we're going to have to watch tonight is how we're going to come off the pit lane and back onto the back straight there. So it's something to watch. Probably the best way for you viewers to see what I'm talking about is jump on board that GSRC lap guide.
Hello everyone and welcome again to the Global Sim Racing Channel. I'm Brian Yasek, taking you for a very fast lap here around the Richmond Raceway in the GSRC IR18 IndyCar. So here we go. Fast way around Richmond for qualifying is always get those left side tires right towards the yellow line, pick up the throttle, drive it right off a corner exit, straight out to the wall, turn 3, get it right back down there. The entrance to turn 3 is a little tricky just because you carry so much speed off of turn 2. Back out onto the front stretch again. We could see a little bit of maneuvering around here as the run progresses, mainly just to try to get out of the dirty wake from the car in front of you. Time will tell if the setup and the weather and all that really lines up. Turn 3, you can kind of take that higher arc, but drive it straight off of the corner, across the line, and that's going to complete our guide here around the Richmond Raceway. I'm Brian Yasek. Enjoy the show.
And there we have our 2 laps around the Richmond International Raceway. You can see how quick they get around this, so there's no time to rest. This countdown to green is brought to you by Sim Experience, the team behind the AccuForce Pro V2 direct drive steering systems. By providing unparalleled realism and the most advanced tuning features on the market, the AccuForce provides a significant advantage to any sim racer. It can also make for an effective training tool for real-world drivers. For more information on the entire Sim Experience ecosystem, including their GS5 seat, Stage Series motion systems, and the Sim Vibe software, visit www.simexperience.com and use that promo code SimXLion to get 5% off all Sim Vibe software.
All right, let's give you 100% of the standings. Well, actually, not. We're only going to show you the top 16. Not a lot to talk about here. These are the raw points. You can see the whopping lead by Adam Blocker over Dandy Dan Guerin of 219 points. I guess the big news, Brian Yosek cracks back up onto the overlay in 15th position, up 4 spots. No real big losers or fallers. How about Joe Branch having a nice move as he moves up 4 spots into 8th? And of course, these driver standings are brought to you thanks to First Medical Equipment. What we're going to do now is take a look at the drop standings. This takes into account the 3 drop races allowed for in the rules, and these are brought to you thanks to Mama Jean's homemade chocolate chip cookies. Check her out on MySpace. Send her a line and she'll send you a dozen homemade cookies. My 96-year-old mother-in-law watching every one of these broadcasts. No big change between Adam Blocker, Dan Guerin, Andrew Kinsella, and Michael Goodman. They're all the same as the raw points. But what's interesting here is look down in 5th position. It's Stephen Larkamp. Who does he replace? Well, none other than Justin Weaver. The 2 guys who battled last season for Rookie of the Year, they always seem to end up on the track together. Those guys are so equally skilled. They seem to race together all the time. It's fun to watch them battle not only on the track but in the points as well. Let's go ahead and look at the team championships. No moves at all from 1st to 6th. Everybody stays the same. You know, you would think that LPM thumbs up would, I'm sorry, let me move up 1 spot. NHR Esports would be doing better with Harrington and Larkamp. But there's only 2 of them. You're just not going to win a team championship or be competitive if you only got yourself 2 drivers. And of course, the whopping lead up there with Blocker, Kinsella, and Carey sitting up there for Adrenaline Motorsports Red. There is another championship, though, and we're going to let Richie talk about. Before we do that, let me not forget to tell you that team championship is brought to you courtesy of Plasma Tracks. Now, Richie is going to tell you about the Rookie Championship, and also remember to tell who the sponsor is.
Yeah, and the Rookie of the Year is presented by Butt Kicker. This championship is a little more interesting. As you see, it's a little tighter up front. Martinez had a really good run lately, but Hill, Rigney, some of these guys had a tough race last weekend, but it's still really close. Hill's sitting seconds. He moves up 1, though, because Rigney didn't have a good race at all. He's only 23 spots back. Rigney 36, Jenkins 65, and Carey at 67. So it's really going to come down to those 5 guys. We only got a handful of races left here, so it's going to come down to who can be the most consistent. But this is the tightest battle out of the 3, and we're going to keep watching that.
Fans can hear the Virginia Crickets chirping away as there's only a few cars still out on the track right now. As qualifying is just about done. You're looking at Stephen Larkamp looking to put in a time. The best of the best in the iRacing World Championships, as well as many of the top private leagues like the one you're watching right now, and this is one of the best, let me tell you. Our showcase right here on the iRacing Esports Network. You know, if you haven't done so yet, what are you waiting for? Make sure that you subscribe. GSRC is proud to be part of the IESN stable of broadcasters. And this series is considered to be the premier fixed setup racing league series for the IR18 on the iRacing service. The Lionheart IndyCar Series honors the memory of the late Dan Weldon. And let me tell you, Dan would be happy right now because yours truly gets to fill in for Professor Lugnut, who is not with us right now. We're going to talk about Aero Push. Now, I told the professor not to spell it ARROW, and so he made sure not to spell it that way. He still spelled it wrong, but here's what Aero Push is all about. And I can tell you that right now because I have this information. Aero Push is the term that you hear a lot almost on any oval here on the Lionheart series that we visit on GSRC. As most race fans know, when a leading car goes through the air, some of the air behind gets directed from the wings up and away from the track. This creates a pocket with less air behind the leading car, which makes the wings of the following car less effective. On the straights, where downforce is not important, this reduces drag and creates a draft effect, which allows the trailing car to slingshot by. This is good for the trailing car. But in the turns, however, these cars need all the grip they can get. And that pocket creates a loss of downforce, and the trailing car washes towards the wall. This is bad for the trailing car. Now, you may wonder, why Aero Push? Why not Aero Loose? Well, let me tell you why. Because these Indy cars are what is called rear aero limited. In short, that means that the downforce generated from the front of the car is much greater than that's generated from the rear of the car. Now, when the aero balance is too far forward, the car gets to get loose and spins out. So here's what the engineers do. They got mechanical grip. They set the mechanical grip to have more grip in the back, less in the front. When you combine that with the aero grip that has more in the front and less in the back, you got yourself a perfect balanced car. The problem is, When that aero grip goes away because you get stuck behind another car, that's when you get the aero push, because the mechanical grip wants to send the car into the wall. That's what's going on. And if you can't correct it, your race is going to end quick. So I hope you enjoyed a little talk about aero push. Not as good as the professor would do, but we did the best we could. Let's go to the grid right now as we're running a little bit long. On the front row, it is Dan Blocker with Ron Hacker in second. Richie?
Yeah, Big Joe Hazard doing a good job there in qualifying, starting third. Tyler Graff starting right next to him in fourth.
Row 3 has Michael Goodman and Chris Stouffer.
Next to him or behind them will be Brian Yazik. Starting next to him will be Steven Larkamp.
Then in ninth position, it is Connor Harrington, always fast, fun to watch him, with the Candyman Dustin Wardlow in 10th. Isaiah Dupree starts 11th, and Brian Beard will line up 12th. In the Baker's Dozen position, it's Andrew Havakech Kinsella. He's going to be inside of Ken Hacker.
Starting 15th will be Bart Workman, and next to him will be Brian Carey.
Chris Sleepy Lanini is in 17th. He's going to be flanked by the Van Hansen's meat machine of Bobby Mikas.
Paul Jenkins lines up 19th, and next to him will be our own Samuel Ryman.
With an ace and a face car, it's Joe Branch. A pair of deuces go to the Watchman, Mark Cohn.
David Altman will start 23rd, and 24th will be Dan Guerin.
James Brand and Justin Weaver fill up the next row.
Jason Galvin and Damon Martinez start right behind them.
Way back in 29th is Tony Schowen with Mike Rigney in 30th.
Starting 31st will be Scotty Johnson. Starting 32nd will be Joe Flanagan. Didn't put in a time. I'll just finish it out. 33rd is going to be George Anzaldo. John Hill will start 34th. 35th will be Brandon Linkerman. And 36th will be Brian Greenlee.
We have ourselves some onboard cameras. We'll take a look at those as the cars are getting ready to roll. First one up is going to be car number 8. It's going to be Dan Guerin with the Midwest Simulations onboard camera. Spotlights VS is a system developed from the ground up by iRacers for iRacers. Check them out at MidwestSim.com. You got Chris Lanini in car number 92. He's sporting the Sim Experience onboard camera. Use promo code SimXLion to get 5% off your SimVive software at SimExperience.com. And Tyler Graff in the number 26 in the graphics onboard camera. Whether you're a company, photographer, student, or creative, or just creative, Graphics offers graphic services tailor-made according to your budget. Check them out on Facebook. All right, the field begins to roll. Check up front. We'll wait to see if the pace car pulls in or if it goes around one more time. We're going to get ourselves a second lap as the parade lap is done. Quickly, Director, let's go ahead and bring up the race details. Richie, you want to go over those real fast?
Yeah, and these series details comes to us thanks to Minus 273, the premier name in karting gloves. For more information on Minus 273's full line of gloves and apparel, visit minus273.biz and use that promo code LHRS for 25% off all orders. Here we are, season 7. We're working round 17 of 25, getting close to the end. Using that Dallara IR18, the setups are adjusted, but they are fixed. And total prizes, cash and prizes, $9,652.
There you have it. We got all the homework out of the way. The pace car pulls in, turning control of the field over to Adam Blocker. Competition, commitment, excitement. This is Lionheart. And the Richmond 200 presented by I forgot the sponsor. Midwest Simulations is underway. We got most of it through. The first lap is complete. We are clean. And it's going to be Adam Blocker getting credit with leading the lap.
Yeah, everybody's kind of getting single file. The car's going to feel good on those new tires, but I'll tell you what, coming off that turn 2, they're going to get one hell of an understeer, and it's really going to be about being conservative and just getting to the end. Oh, caution already. Never mind. Yeah, we're going to see a lot of that tonight. This is going to be a tough track. We'll see what happens here.
We believe it was Weaver that starts it.
And you know what? And he just got down on that yellow line. I've done it a couple times myself, and You know, that yellow line is actually on the flat part of the track, not the banking. So you can't, if you flirt with it at all, it's going to send you right up to the outside. And that's going to be a problem we're going to see all race long, because you really got to get down to that bottom groove. As you can see here on the replay, goes down low, clips that yellow line, little sideways, and everybody stacks up.
That was Altman and Martinez who got around. Not so good luck, though, for some of the other drivers, one of them being, I believe it was James Brandt was first to get to Weber and spin him around. Then some other cars that have trouble, and Zaldo and Brian, it's not easy being Greenlee. We ride with him, and he gets into it. George Anzaldo was trying to avoid the incident. No fast repairs here in this series.
Yeah, unfortunately, you know, both those guys started all the way in the back, and you think they would be in a safe position, but kind of caught them out early in this race, and that's unfortunate.
Well, with lap times of under 15 seconds, it's kind of hard to hide. Even if you're farther back, you're going to get there quick. You're going to get there really quick.
Yeah,
well,
really tough.
With this break, let's go ahead and take a look at our race analysis, find out how far we're going, how far we can go. And, of course, this race analysis presented by PlasmaTracks.com. There you see it. 267 laps. If you do the math, I believe that comes out to 200 miles. How far can you go? They're telling me 65 laps. Divide 65 into 267, and that tells you how many stints you have. We're not going to worry about it until we get to about 100 to go. We'll see how things play out. I don't think we're going to get to see a lot of green flag pit stops today, Richie, but sometimes when the herd thins out a bit, we can get some long runs at the end.
Yeah, I would like to see some, because I know coming out of that pit lane and back onto the straightaway is really tricky. Probably one of the hardest pit lane exits we have. But like you said, I think we're going to have a lot of green flag pit stops. I'd be surprised if anybody has to go the distance before they pit under yellow.
Adam Blocker working lap number 6 now.
I'd like to point out a couple of notables here. You know, Adam Blocker's leading the championship. Obviously, he's started on the point leading. Got to go all the way back to Dan Guerin, our guy second in points, man. He did not have a good qualifying. He started 21st. He's 4th. He's up to 19th, but he is right in the mix of the problem area. So we'll kind of keep an eye on that.
Drivers who took a pit stop: James Brandt, George Anzaldo, David Altman, Scotty Johnson, David Hill, Justin Weaver.
Our Rookie of the Year leader is Damon Martinez. He is all the way back in last at the moment, in 33rd, last car on the lead lap. So I don't know if he pitted, but he was involved in that wreck. So, you know, this race is gonna be a wild card. It's gonna mix everything up. I think it's just about getting around, just finishing the race, and just see where you're at instead of really trying to race hard.
Adam Blocker must be happy where he is, not only out in front, but he's out in front of any problems that could happen behind him.
Yeah, but for the moment he is. But, you know, with that many cars and 16 seconds around, he's going to be coming up on those lap cars really quick. And then all of a sudden he's in the mix.
Lights are off. The pace car, the beautiful Medina Mendez pulls it in. We're going to go racing now. Working lap number 8 is Adam Blocker. Big Joe Hazard coming off a win last time, sitting in second. Boy, things are coming his way. Ron Hacker in third. Round out of your top 5. Tyler Graff, don't worry about that car. Coming out of the pit lane, it's not involved. And Chris Stouffer in 5th.
Nice clean start by Adam Blocker. Just getting a little bit of a gap already. Back to Joe Hazard. And then Ron Hacker, Tyler Graff, Chris Stouffer really battling it out here for the third spot.
Getting loose is Tyler Graff. He does a 360. He does a 720. And he brings out the caution. I don't think anybody got him. He was racing in 5th position when he spun it.
Yeah, that was that battle. Those guys are racing pretty hard. And just coming up that front straightaway, goes to take a move into turn 1, and it looks like he just touches that yellow line once again with that left front, and away he goes.
That was Michael Goodman, who just got on the binders and watched Graff doing his pirouettes in front of him.
Yeah, and you'll see him here watching. There's his left front tire on that, and it just goes sideways. And yeah, nice job by everybody to miss him. Another yellow flag, but everybody's going to keep going. Unfortunately, Tyler's going to have to wait for everybody to go by, and he'll cycle around to the back.
Look at Michael Goodman as the graphics car spins right in front of Michael. Michael gets on the binders, loses several positions, but he's still racing. And I think iRacing was very kind to Michael as they brought him back up to 5th position. So even though guys were going around him, I think he got most of those spots back thanks to the automated iRacing stewards.
Yeah, the yellow came out real early, so once that yellow comes out, the field is frozen.
Well, you know, we were riding on board there with Tyler Groff with the graphics onboard camera. I want to talk about them real quick. Whether you're a company, photographer, student, or just creative, Graphics offers graphic services tailor-made according to your budget. At Graphics, you are in great hands. With dozens of experienced creative designers to assist you in whatever you need, their competitive pricing is well below market value and more affordable than hiring an in-house designer for your project. Check them out on Facebook. And there's Tyler right there. As you can probably guess by his name, part of Graphics, Tyler Groff. Lights are on. Pretty smart of the way you can ever work your last name into the business that you're in. That's good. Richie Hearn, what would you do? You look like a hernia doctor.
I'd probably be making more money than I do now, though, but I don't know if I'd want to be doing that.
All right. Lights stay on the pace car. We work our second yellow flag here. Let's take a look at the weather. We didn't have much time to take a peek at that. See how nighttime really doesn't matter much. You can see that the track temperature is pretty darn comfortable. The fans are comfortable. Everybody's comfortable. Oh, a little more, little moist though, isn't it, Richie, over there? 92% humidity.
Yeah, not so bad with the lights out, but 77 track temp, that's the key number. So, you know, these tires should feel pretty good, but they're leaning on them pretty hard, so they are going to go away. It really ends up being the front of the car that seems to go away first. And then you get that snap oversteer as you feeding in that steering coming off of the corners.
I remember watching a few IndyCar races where, I guess it's because of the humidity, you can actually see the calm trails coming off the back of the wings.
Yeah, it's just condensing the air there.
Yeah.
And when you're following somebody and you see those, it's pretty distracting, actually.
All right. Let's see if we can get ourselves a nice little run here. Going to get going green again. 30 cars still on the lead lap. Pace car is in. Check a look. Makes you want to holler, hi-da-ho! That's one way to get a green flag. Run. Give him a good start. Adam Blocker gets the jump. Joe Hazard is second.
He gets a really good jump off that line there. Joe Hazard doing a good job as well. He's kind of singled himself out, but we go back to that group of Ron Hacker, Chris Stover, Michael Goodman. These guys, this is where the incident happened last time. These guys are racing hard while those tires are fresh.
The field starts to string out single file. We do have an interesting battle looking at 7th position. This one's kind of fun. That's Brian Yazik on the top side. He gets a good run around Stefan Larkamp. Larkamp has to check up. He's going to lose 1 position. And now Dustin Wardlow says, well, that worked for Yazik. I'll try it too.
Yeah, Stefan Larkamp got real loose off turn 2 there and had to check up, and that let Brian Yazik around. And then here comes... is that Dustin Wardlow going around him as well?
Wardlow going around, almost gets in the wall. He might have got some of the wall.
You want to take that low line because that's the fastest line, but it's also abusing your tires the most. So you want to 2, 3, and 4 right here where they're at. Maybe that middle lane is a little bit easier on the tires. I think, like I say, conservative nature is going to be the way we want to go, but you can't be too conservative because Adam Blocker will be coming around to lap you pretty quickly.
David Altman trying to stay out of the way as the cars start to go around. I saw Michael Goodman make a stab at Chris Stouffer for 4th position. It didn't work.
And Adam Blocker's already in lap traffic. So he's he's got his couple of clear laps, but now he's right behind. Who is that? Looks like Weaver going around him. So you're gonna be in traffic all night long. There's no real clear laps going on.
Let's look at 4th position. There's a side-by-side battle here. We're on it. This is Goodman below, Stouffer above. They are side-by-side for the entire lap. And now, though, we got a caution. The pass is made. Bobby Micah spins right in front of Joe Branch. Again, Richie, it looks like the left side tire's getting down below the yellow line.
Yeah, it's easy to do. I've done it. I practiced with these guys, and I had plenty of incidents. And like I say, it's really hard to judge because that yellow line is actually on the flat. So if you flirt with it too much, you're going to be on the flat part, and it just kind of whips that rear end around. And the guys that are smart will just kind of always give about a foot buffer to that. But there you go, right there on the white line or yellow line, just unloads that rear, and away you go.
All right, are we going to see pit stops? We are indeed. All the leaders come in. Somebody's going to stay out.
It looks like Adam Blocker's staying out.
Oh, yeah.
The leader. Fuel strategy is not going to be the issue here. It's going to be about just keeping the tires on the car, but Adam's obviously happy with where he's got. Track position is important too. So, being in clean air is what you want. So Adam's happy with that.
Some drivers will come in, wait for my timing and scoring to get caught up here as it's fighting me today. If I take a look at this, it looks to me like 9, 10 drivers stayed out. All the way down to Mike Rigney, the last one, racing now in 10th. Big Joe Hazard, I believe, the first of the guys to really pit on that last stint. So that's somebody to keep an eye on. He's going to have about 25 laps difference. Richie, 25 laps? That's got to mean Hazard's going to be feeling pretty good, right?
Yeah,
Richie.
sorry, my button wasn't
okay.
working. There we go. Yeah, I was gonna say, 25 laps, but 18 of those laps were under yellow, so
There you go.
not a big wear on that. It really is just a matter of just pitting while you can to get a free pit stop. If you do have to pit under green here, you're gonna lose 2 laps. So taking it while you can will hopefully pay dividends at the end.
So we're looking at 2 races now. We got Blocker and Hacker and Goodman up front. They'll be pitting somewhere in the next, let's say they can go 65. Let's give them 70 laps with all the yellow flags. Let's get lost 75 laps to be on there. So they got about 50 laps to go. Boy, that's a long time. And then you got the other group, Yazik, Beard, Big Joe Hazard.
Yeah, I know it said 65 laps on a tank of fuel. At this rate, we're probably going to go 100 on a tank of fuel.
I was thinking that too. I kept adding more laps on there the farther I went.
We'll kind of get in a rhythm. This is going to be expected. It's a tight track, 30 some odd cars. It's not easy to drive, so it's not like just one hand on the wheel. So I think as we get a little bit farther into the race, people will settle down. Obviously, we'll slowly eliminate people as the wrecks happen, and then we'll start getting some long runs. So you just got to be patient.
Here's the good news for all you carnivores out there. The Von Hansen meat machine, even though it spun that time, still on the lead lap. Got everything taken care of. Pace car is in. We go racing for the third time. Adam Blocker out in front. Ron Hacker this time with Michael Goodman, Stouffer, and Harrington now. Oh, another yellow flag. We did not get far. Paul Jenkins. This is trying to get the power down. I think the racing stewards could have let this one go. He did a nice, this is a beautiful little Olympic type spin. Got it going. Danny Sullivan-esque. They threw it anyway.
And I'm going to say, with all the spins we've had, we haven't had a lot of carnage. So a lot of just kind of innocent spins. Everybody's doing a good job kind of missing them. But like I say, hopefully you can just kind of get going, get a little rhythm, and, count those laps down.
Well, with another yellow flag, we'll take a short break. Don't go far. We'll come back before we go green. You're watching GSRC on ISN.
The Sim Pit is an entertainment channel dedicated to the world of simulated motorsports. The Sim Pit is a leader in providing the sim racing community with news, reviews, interviews, DIY pieces, and instructional videos to make sim racing a better experience for all. Check us out at thesimpit.com or go to YouTube and just search for The Sim Pit.
Streaming cyberspace into your place on the iRacing Esports Network. This is the Global Sim Racing Channel's coverage of the Richmond 200 presented by Midwest Simulations here in the Lionheart IndyCar Series. We are under yellow on lap 34. We are about to go green. And once again, it is Adam Blocker leading the field across the finish line as we're going to start working lap number 35. Not much happened while we were away. We can report that Michael Goodman did pit from the front, so he'll be back in what I'm going to call the junior varsity class right now, as we have 9 drivers that have been out there the entire time. Leader of the JV team sitting with, that would be, it looks like Brian Yazek back there in about 14th position, leading all the cars that have made that most recent pit stop.
Yeah, once again, Adam Blocker gets really good start, kind of separates himself away from second spot. Ron Hacker leading that group right behind him. Pretty hungry group. But pretty soon, Adam's going to be in his own traffic, so he's only got a couple of laps of clear running, and then he'll start catching up to the back of the field and have to do the hard work.
Let me correct myself. It is Big Joe Hassard, actually, the leaders of all the guys who've made that on that second group of guys who are about 25 laps behind, or ahead, if you want to look at it as far as pit strategy goes.
Yeah, he was running second place at the time, so he pitted, took advantage of that. And it's one thing, you get those fresh tires, but you do put yourself in danger back in the beehive. Right on board with Tyler Groff there, trying to go on the inside. Really tough to pass there. Really just got to set it up to get that run off the corner. But as you talked about that aero push, it is real out here. So it's all about timing and just being patient.
Let's go ahead and look at Joe Hassard. He's got the fresh rubber. You would think that he might be able to make some progress here, but he's going nowhere. He's right behind Tony Shallen. It looks like you said, so many of those laps were under yellow. I guess it's a little bit misleading when you're looking at 25 laps. Right ahead of him, though, that is Samuel Ryman. Uh-oh. We got another one. Scotty Johnson got a little bit of a putt from the Von Hansen's meat machine of Bob Mikas.
Yeah, he ended up on his lid there.
Okay. Now, that's really not like Brandon Blinkenman was on the inside, and I think that's what caused Johnson to get off the pace and caught Bobby by surprise.
Yeah, it caught him by a big surprise. He's up in the fence there, upside down, sliding down the track. Good job by everybody just kind of missing that wreck, but under caution once again.
So Scotty Johnson's night ends early as we take a look at this one. Well, with all the attrition going on, maybe we should try to get our spotlighted driver out of the way.
Do have a bunch of people coming down pit lane. Adam Blocker still staying
indeed.
out.
One of the drivers coming down pit lane is Brian Beard. We'll talk about him in a minute, as he's one of our spotlighted drivers. He makes it in safe. Look at them all getting in there nicely. Adam Blocker stays out. Am I correct on this? Sure enough, my gosh.
Yeah, Adam Blocker, Ron Hacker staying out. It's our front row of the start of the race, still staying out there. Connor Harrington doing a good job, started 9th, hanging in there in 3rd spot. He stays out as well. Really go back down to Big Joe, who was running 2nd, and he's the last one or the first car that pitted the last time. He's made his way back up to 9th.
We'll wait for this to sort out. We're going to talk about our profile driver now, and that would be Brian Beard. Brian right now racing in 23rd position. He started in 12th. You see what he's been up to. He's got 38 starts there. Looking to get some points. Got a handful of top 10s. You know, Brian, he's led 17 laps in the series. That's 71st all time for laps led. 17 laps out of 6,125 miles. That's almost around the world.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Working lap number 46.
And we have had some, just like point out, we've had some people disconnect. You know, Michael Goodman came in. I don't know if he had a problem. He had to get out of the sim. But Damon Martinez, I don't know if he caught up in that last wreck, but he is disconnected as well. That's our Rookie of the Year points leader. So like we talked about, it's going to be about being consistent. He was only 23 points in the lead, so that's going to change.
Of course, there are drop races. We're looking at 28 cars on the lead lap. The lights are off the pace car. We are going to go green this time. So if you look at the tower on the left, if you go all the way down to Tony Schowen in 6th spot, he has yet to make a stop. Big Joe Hazard made that stop. It was like, we're going to call it the JV team. Now Flanagan is on, or Rigney is on the same pace as the other guys. Then you go all the way down to Chris Stouffer. He is the leader of, I guess, the sophomore team, if I go all the way back to high school when they had varsity, JV, and sophomores. 3 different races going on right now. Pace car is in. Adam Blocker continues to lead, but for how long? As he's been out there the entire time.
Yeah, and Connor Harrington going right to the bottom of Ron Hacker, taking that 2nd spot. He got a really good start, so he's going to clear himself away from that mess. Right back there, running 2 wide for 4th spot. I can't see who that is at the moment.
Well, it's Wardlow now making a move on Schowen. This is getting a little bit dicey up here, back in like 5th position. Wardlow leads him in 4th. Larkamp, Schowen a little bit to the inside. Peeking to make a move is Big Joe Hazard. That's Hazard you're looking at right there.
Yeah, he's the first car that pitted. So he's moved himself back up to, looks like 6th spot. Got to give a shout out to Tony Schowen, just staying out there, started 29th all the way up to 6th by just not pitting and staying out of the way. So that's good positioning for him. Here comes Big Joe going on the inside, not able to make that move. This is where you picked up that arrow push right in the middle of that corner. So it's real important to kind of time it just right to get the run off the corner.
That was tight. They get it sorted out. Some of these guys up front might be thinking, gee, if there's enough yellow flags, I might be able to no-stop this race. What kind of fuel miles do you get? Yellow flag. Great racing going on. 7th, 8th, and 9th is tight.
Yeah, Adam Blocker and Connor Harrington have checked out, but once again, they're going to start catching up to lead lap cars pretty soon.
That's Rigney working around Schowen. The blue car of Rigney, the white and red car of Schowen. Brian Carey watching on. The familiar name of Dandy Dan Guerin lurking back in 10th.
Yeah, Tony Schowen maybe paying a little bit of price staying out there so long on those tires. He's back to 8th. Did start 29th, but right in front of him, Mike Rigney started 30th, and he's up to 7th. Mike Rigney trying to make a move on Steven Larkamp.
That's Rigney in the blue car on the inside.
Yeah.
Larkamp gets loose, and here it opens the door for Schowen coming through. Brian Carey trying to follow on the inside line. Larkamp with the momentum on top. These drivers are working lap number 58 right now. Larkamp seems to like the high side, but now the car gets loose again. He's losing momentum. That's going to allow the blue car underneath the Carey, and also coming in the mix, Dan Guerin.
Yeah, you really can't run that high line going into 1 because it tightens up so quickly out of 2. So he was kind of out of the groove. There was nothing he can do. Here comes Dan Guerin trying to make a move, doing a good job, trying to make up some spots from his 24th starting position. Larkamp struggling a little bit. He's opening the doors. There goes Dan Guerin. Up high again in 1 and 2. He's got to get down low and kind of get back to single file.
Guerin, who started in 24th, has made up 14 spots. The lap traffic that the leader had to go through has kind of been one at a time, but it won't be long until he actually gets into the mix of stuff with the battle.
Go back to 8th spot. Brian Carey taking that spot away from Tony Schowen. So moving up Brian Carey up to 7th spot, moving Tony Schowen back to 8th.
Don't mean to jump you around a lot, but my spider senses are tingling. Let's go to 19th. This is Jason Galvin George Anzaldo right behind him. Now the yellow car that's fourth in line, or maybe it's green, that is Brian Beard, our spotlighted driver. And Landini taking a peek down tight on Anzaldo. We ride on board with Sleepy Landini right now. Landini is stuck on the top side with Beard down below him. Still working. He has a run now, but he has nowhere to put the car as he has to check up for George Anzaldo, who is blocking his racing line. That allows Beard to get down underneath them. They race 2 by 2 with Bart Workman coming into formation. Let's make it 2 by 2 by 2 because now behind them on the inside in that third row back, that is right. Samuel Ryman and Brandon Limke.
Run side by side like that's dangerous moves, but everybody's doing a good job kind of finding that rhythm. Right now, Adam Blocker catching up to his teammate, Andrew Kinsella, who's running 27th, last car in the lead lap. So that's kind of interesting. This battle we have on screen is really heating up.
All right. Now they get it sorted out. Check in on our leader if he's got into lap traffic. Let's go up and see how Adam Blocker take a drink, as I called him Dan Blocker.
Car in the fence.
Chris Stouffer.
Yeah, that was right back in that battle we were watching. It looked like he kind of did it on his own. Chris Lanini did get around George Anzaldo, but here's the replay. Yeah, it looked like he blinked out a little bit of a hardware issue, just right up into the catch fence. Looks like a single car incident, and then we're back under yellow.
Well, with 69 laps on the same set of tires and fuel, Adam Blocker has decided it's time to make a stop. He's going to bring in Connor Harrington with him.
Yeah, he's pretty much bringing in the whole field. I think everybody's going to just follow the leader on this one. The race off pit road will be interesting. Like I say, that pit exit lane as you come around the corner is really touchy on the throttle.
Fuel goes in these cars really fast, but some of these guys are not going to have to take as much because they've been out there for a while. So there's a chance maybe Blocker might not be first off pit lane. He was first on. But again, the fuel goes in so fast in these Galars. Blocker, Harrington, same order that they were coming in.
Yeah, and Adam Blocker having that first pit stall, he's able to just go straight out. He doesn't have to go into the pit lane, so that's definitely an advantage.
What that does is just wipe the chalkboard away as we got everybody now pretty much on the same strategy. The cars behind the pace car are David Altman. He's laps down Weaver, Hill, Micus.
Yeah, this is the only way you can get your lap back in IndyCar racing. There's no lucky dog, so you got to be able to kind of stay out, get yourself sandwiched between the leader and the pace car. They'll get the wave around. They're 2 laps down, all those guys, but they'll get 1 lap back right here. 2 laps or more, I should say.
Weaver's been out there for 25 laps, so if he can stay in front of the leaders. Oh, he'll get the wave around, though. That's correct, so he doesn't have to worry about that.
Yeah, he'll get the wave around, and it's short enough to where he doesn't have to come in and pit, so he'll definitely grab one of those laps back. Same with, I believe, Bobby Micus and Chris Stouffer. All those guys will get a lap back.
John Hill, one of the cleanest drivers in the series, comes in to top off. "26 cars on the lead lap, the last one being Andrew Have-A-Catch Kinsella. And let me correct myself. It's the Watchman, Mark Cohn, actually now in 26th. He's going to be the final car on the lead lap as he comes around. Pace car going to go around one more time. Happy National Lobster Day to everybody. Hope you all partaked in that one. Right now, the man with the claws on the lead is Adam Blocker.
Yeah, he hasn't had any trouble yet. Pretty much gotten really good restarts, ran his own pace. By the time he caught up to lap traffic, before it got too heavy at a yellow flag, he cycled around. He's pretty much led every lap so far. Only about 200 and less than 200 laps to go. 190 something.
Oh, it seems like so many. The pace car's in. We're gonna click them off here, one after the other here. It only takes 15 seconds to do a lap. That's 4 a minute. We'll be done in no time. We're going green. Adam Blocker is your leader. Connor Harrington, Ron Hacker, and Big Joe Hazard. Boy, Hazard has been strong of late.
Yeah, he's able to get himself back up to the top 4. He was second when he pitted. Connor Harrington got a good start that time. Didn't let Adam get too far ahead. These guys are all kind of nose to tail right behind Big Joe. Dustin Wardlow looking to the inside of Big Joe for a second, but decides better of it.
So I talked about clearing the chalkboard. Everybody pretty much on the same strategy. Where now we get to look at maybe some big movers, and these ones really matter. Brian Carey's in 6th position. He's up 10 spots. But there's a couple guys right behind Carey that really need some attention. Tony Schowen, 29th to 7th, and following him right through the field, Mike Rigney, 30th to 8th. Well done, boys.
Yeah, that's how you do it from a poor qualifying session. It's just kind of strategize your way up to the front, and if you can get yourself in the top 10, I think you're going to be, pretty safe for a while. So that's a good job by both those guys. Even behind him, Dan Guerin, 24th to 9th. He's able to kind of get back to where he normally runs, maybe a little farther up he'd like to be. Joe Branch, 21st to 10th. And then even right behind him, Joe Flanagan, 32nd to 11th. So nicely done for him, too.
And there we look at the side-by-side going on right here. We get that sorted out.
Yeah, it's Mike Rigney going around Tony Schowen, taking that position back to 7th spot, moving Tony back to 8th. He's got Dan Guerin to deal with right now. Dan looking to make a move as they go into turn 3. Tony runs a little bit higher line. Dan runs a little low line, gets some clean air so you don't get that arrow push, right?
There you go. I know all about it. Those cars side by side, that's Flanagan back there ahead of Dupree. Flanagan always a closer, not the greatest qualifier, but he can make it to the end of the race. He's fun to watch. Good racing going on back here for 8th. Let's stay on this while. Not much missing. Oh, going down low was Flanagan. Having the same idea was Isaiah Dupree. Cousin Dupree said, okay, I got to wait a minute, as both Flanagan and Dupree wanted to take the inside line around Branch. Now on the top side is Dupree. He gets a run, dives down in front of Joe, gets underneath another Joe. He's got Joe Branch to deal with. He already dealt with Joe Flanagan.
Yeah, that was a good move around the outside of Joe Flanagan. Now he's trying to go down the inside of Joe Branch. Almost flirted with disaster with that yellow line going into turn 1 and 2. But good job getting that position back. Now he kind of falls back in line behind Joe Branch.
My goodness, Isaiah Dupree got to be feeling like Jimi Hendrix there. Hey, Joe. He's got Joe in front of him, Joe behind him. Strangely enough, little by little, Connor Harrington's beginning to reel in Adam Blocker.
Yeah, Connor's kind of finding its groove, but Adam Blocker's coming right up on the lap traffic, so that's going to hinder his progression. So we're going to have probably a battle for first place here for the first time pretty soon.
3 cars is going to be coming up on Andrew Kinsella in 26th. John Hill in 27th there, or 27th, and Mike Weaver 29th. I hear a spinner. Or we stay green. Oh no, it was Mark Cohn, the watchman, with a little bit of, oh my goodness, Bobby Mikas got him. I gave Bobby the benefit of the doubt last time. Let's see if I can do it again this time. I'm going to say net code. Once again, Bobby Mikas avoids the wrath of the commentator. Right on board. Look at the interval between him and the watchman. About a foot.
Yeah, on a track like this where we run so tight, that netcode sometimes will come into play. And it's just part of what you have to accept sometimes.
Used to do some serious race stewarding in a series that had an Australian driver, very good driver.
Got to point out that
Adam
Blocker's pitting. I'm just saying, Adam Blocker's pitting at the first spot. That's an early pit stop for him, considering he went 69 laps before. Right. So something he wasn't happy with. He's going to go ahead and, or he's working the math. We haven't worked the math yet. We don't do that here on GSRC, but he was, and maybe he's working it backwards to where, you know, he's thinking maybe it'll settle down and he'll get a little bit of advantage on the fuel.
Yeah, we're way too far away to start calculating that.
Yeah, I know. I was being sarcastic. I find it interesting that he decided to pick, because what that does is, you know, he's been in clean air this whole time, and that's just going to really push him back and kind of just an area that he hasn't been in yet. And it doesn't take anything from a mistake from somebody in front of him to take him out. So that's an interesting strategy.
Finish that story about the Australian driver. He was in a series. Very competitive driver, actually several championships to his name, but was notorious for bumping people out of the race and claiming netcode. And it got to the point where all the league members are saying, hey, netcode's a thing. You got to give us a little more room. Working lap number 94 as we come across the line.
And basically Adam Blocker made me look like a liar, because even though he pitted, everybody else did, and that's going to just push him back to fourth. So he's not really that far back. But let's give a shout out to George Anzaldo. Started 33rd, got caught up in that early incident, the first lap or second lap or whatever. But he's worked his way all the way back up to third. So pit strategy and whatnot. So good job to him.
Pace car, the lights remain on the pace car. Let's see if it comes off this time. Coming across the line, do the lights stay on or do they go off? I think they're going to come off this time.
And they
Shout out to Drexy's Midnight Runners, if you know that group. Come On Eileen, one of the greatest one-hit wonders of all time. It's Happy National One-Hit Wonder Day, everyone. So I hope
we timed that with Lobster Day. That's awesome.
There you go. Put on a little Come On Eileen, get yourself some butter, have some lobster, and enjoy the nation that you live in. Pace car is going to pull in. It's time to go racing. Yeah, Not Come On Eileen, come on Connor Harrington. He gets the jump. Right. Go ahead.
I was going to say, he gets a good jump off that corner. Samuel Ryman also, let's get a shout out to him, man. He's done a good job getting up to second. Adam Blocker looking to make a move on George Ansaldo. He's obviously got the fresher tires, and George kind of lets him go. Knows that Adam's fast. No reason to fight him. And next on his list will be Samuel Ryman. He's going to get a good run off of turn 2. Looking to the outside, then sweeping down. Oh, no. Got a nice close action going into the corners there.
Oh, Dustin Wardlow. He was on the outside of Tony Schowen. And they did make contact, and maybe a bit of that dreaded ghost contact, maybe not.
Who was that went underneath him there? Going right underneath the car. I don't know if he got some damage. Here we are on board.
Well, Samuel Ryman was up in second. He's going to stay out there.
Yeah, so is George.
Yeah.
Big Joe hanging in there in 5th spot. Ron Hacker, our second place starter, hanging in there in 6th. Dan Guerin doing a good job. I'm sure he was disappointed with his qualifying. He's had to work hard to get back up into the top 7 where he sits right now.
Well, with the action slowing down a bit, we'll take another break here on GSRC, but don't go far. We'll be back before we go green on the iRacing Esports Network. Welcome back to the Global Sim Racing Channel here on the iRacing Esports Network. This is the Lionheart IndyCar Series. We're working lap number 103 here at Richmond as we go back to green. Connor Harrington has the lead. The real news is Samuel Ryman, who sits in second, trying to make his car as wide as a Julia Roberts smile. It's not going to work because dipping around underneath is Adam Blocker. He moves up into second. Ryman back in third. And Zaldo in fourth, working on the inside, picking up a spot. That's Ron Hacker, stuck on the top side is Big Joe Hazard, who almost gets clipped by Dan Guerin. Look at the momentum now from Hazard as he goes underneath, and he picks up the spot on Ron Hacker. Oh my goodness, they are racing really tight formation. We got a long way to go, boys. And we got it, it happened. That is Tony Schowen, and the car onto the inside wall is, if I can find it, might have been Anzaldo. Indeed.
Yeah, I think it was Anzaldo there.
David Altman also had an issue. I'm not sure. This is after the incident or during the incident. We can, if you stand a little bit later, Altman gets tagged as people are trying to slow up by Bob Mikus. Oh, Mikus gets another one and puts Altman into that's gonna hurt. I love you, Bobby. A couple of them haven't been your problem. That one, I don't know. Well, people are slowing down. Okay. Sometimes that happens. This stuff happens around you, and you just keeps. Leave me alone, says Bobby Mikus.
Yeah, one thing to bring up, we don't usually have this issue, but, we have a 20 incident limit on this track, and some of these guys have gotten quite a few incidents. So we might see some people actually get disconnected by reaching that 20.
You know what I think would be a good rule would be like a joint incident limit that would apply to everyone. Like, let's say 200. You get to 200 and everybody's disqualified. I'm just thinking out loud here, but Connor Harrington, your leader. Adam Blocker right behind him. They are not on the same pit strategy. I do not believe.
Bring up this Rookie of the Year standing since we had our leader out, Damon Martinez. Mike Rigney was sitting in third spot, only 36 points behind, but right now he's doing a good job sitting in eighth. So it's going to be, if he can stay right there, he's going to really close up that battle for the last couple of races.
It is National Storytelling Day, and the story of this race has been yellow flags. There have been many and often. If it is true that yellows breed yellows, we've got ourselves a overpopulation crisis going on right now.
It's like a bunch of rabbits out there.
It is indeed.
Yeah, yellows unfortunately do breed yellows. It does bring the racing back, to what we want to watch, but it does bunch everybody up and causes problems. So, we do have 23 cars on the lead lap. Got quite a few cars still running. Looks like all the way down to Dustin Wardlow in 29th. He's probably our last car running, 10 laps down, 11 laps down. So we still have a healthy field out there, but hopefully we can get a little bit of a rhythm, start cranking out some laps. I want to see what happens. I want to see a green flag pit stop. That's what I want to see.
Lights are off. Richie, before we go back to green, you've done some real world racing on long yellow flag runs. Can you let your mind wander? Do you think about, the kids got to do better in math, or do you even stay focused even during yellow flags?
In something like this, you get bored as hell out there, and you start kind of thinking about what you're going to have for dinner.
All right, the pace car is in. Connor Harrington on the throttle. Adam Blocker behind. They have been very competitive. They may be the fastest two cars out there. They are separated by about 5 car lengths and about 30 laps as far as pit strategy goes.
Yeah, before that last yellow flag, Adam Blocker made that move on Samuel and really started closing in on Connor Harrington like he's doing right now. Samuel Ryan doing a good job hanging in there in third spot. He's going to get passed right now by Big Joe Assert. Big Joe plowing his way through up the inside in turn 2. Dan Guerin hanging in there, moving up to 5th spot, basically where he should be running that spotlight sticker right on his car from our race sponsor.
Boy, I bet you he's getting a lot of use of that one today. You may need to race with sunglasses on with all the lights that are going to be coming on his monitor.
Yeah, it's a perfect example of where you need to do it. Right now, Adam Blocker all over the back of Connor Harrington. He's going to be looking to make a move right there, as you can see on our screen, going down into turn 3 and 4. They approach 1 and 2, and he's looking to make a move right here. Although Connor Harrington's going to give him the inside, so that was interesting. And maybe he's just better off just letting Adam go and just kind of see how it plays out at this point.
Blocker makes the move. And now Harrington will be in that dreaded arrow push that the Professor Lugnut talks so much about.
Mike Rigney, what we talked about, our guy in the Rookie of the Year standings, has moved his way up to 6 now around Samuel Ryman. Samuel Ryman probably paying a little bit of a price now for those tires, but he's still doing a good job hanging in there in that top 10 position.
You're looking at that battle. Director, let's go back to 7th real quick to Ryman, because I think things are heating up here. Oh, he almost gets collected by Joe Flanagan. Trying to get out of the way. Flanagan gets underneath him. The next blue car is Yazik. Now that is Jason Galvin trying to get underneath, trying to make it 3 wide back there. Joe Branch gets underneath Ryman.
Yeah, unfortunately, Joe Flanagan kind of showed his nose on Samuel. Samuel got off the gas. That killed his momentum, and then these next 3 guys just kind of took advantage of that. 2 guys, and went right on by him.
And Brad gets him, so that settles down. Once Adam Blocker got around Connor Harrington, it was check his luggage for stolen towels, because he has checked out.
Yeah,
Blocker with a 2.5 second lead.
Yeah, he's taken off. I think Connor knew he was a little bit faster, so he just let him go. Not his fight at the moment. He's got a long ways to go. Big Joe Hassert catching back up to Connor Harrington as well. He's going to be looking to get back into that 2nd position, which he held from the start of the race.
Look at that battle right there. How about a kiss for your cousin Dupree? Isaiah Dupree running in 4th, up 7 spots, putting on a great show. He's got Dan Guerin behind him, and Guerin could not get around him. Another driver having a good run is the 3rd car in line, the blue one of Mike Rigney. Dupree and Rigney having outstanding runs.
Yeah, Mike Rigney right now looking to make a move on Dan Guerin. Dan Guerin kind of got in that arrow wash of Isaiah Dupree, had to back out of it. That brought Mike Rigney right up to the back of him. Everybody lying astern there. Say all the way up to Big Joe. Let's see. Dan Guerin, sorry. So Dan, Mike Rigney, Joe Flanagan, Brian Yazik, Joe Branch, all right there fighting for that basically 5th spot.
Let's drop back to Samuel Ryman again in 13th, and actually it's the 3 cars that are coming. Ryan Carey, Stefan Larkamp, Bob Micas in this mix. And Micas is a lap down. Brian Beard is running in here too. These guys have been fighting. The action up front is pretty well behaved. We'll see when these guys get there. Ryman maybe has found his level. They start to settle down. Peeking down on the inside is Micas, who is, well, I'm going to say 1 lap down, 2 laps down for Micas.
Adam Blocker is checked out, but he is starting to creep up on the back of the lappers, so we'll see how he plays that out. Connor Harrington doing a good job just running his spot, but Big Joe really kind of staying on his coattails, not letting him get away. Everybody's kind of just settling into a pace right now, and that's good to see. No real heavy battles. Everybody's just a couple of tenths apart.
Coming up on 2 cars, George Anzaldo and John Hill. Not a battle for position, as Hill is a lap down, but we'll see how Blocker deals with him.
Brian Beard going underneath Stephen Larkamp for Well, I thought he was, but now they're side by side down the front straightaway for 15th and 16th. Stephen Larkamp going up way high in turns 1 and 2, had to get out of it.
And Weaver is in the wall. On the outside was Limpkeman. I guess he spun off the racing line, kept the car pointed in the right direction. Or maybe just the iRacing automated stewards also want to eat dinner and decided to leave it green. Let's stay on this for a minute, because after he crashes hard to the inside wall, and again, remember, Mama Jean, this is simulator racing. This is not real injury. Ow! I guess the car's still pointing straight, and since it's still straight and the engine is still running, I'm just going to keep going, and he starts to go. Oh, yeah, boy, it is National Lobster Day, and that car is crabbing. See what I did there?
Yeah, that is interesting that they didn't go yellow, but keep the motion going. Big Joe has gotten around Connor Harrington, so we'll move him back to second spot, although Adam Blocker is way out in front. He's almost the whole back stretch ahead. He's about 2.5 seconds ahead. Isaiah Dupree now starting to creep up on the back of Connor Harrington. He's done a good job. He's made 4 pit stops, by the way.
Oh! Let's get a replay from onboard Adam Blocker as George Anzaldo and John Hill almost got together right in front of him. I thought our leader was going to be taken out on this one. Watch this. As they come up, look at the 2 cars ahead, get close together. Right there. Oh, no, it's coming up here in a minute. They're not done yet. Whoa, and he goes way up high. I thought he was going to hit the wall and bounce back off. Blocker. Cool as ice water is Adam Blocker.
Yeah, Adam's got basically everybody covered. The only thing that's going to hurt him is, I think, somebody else crashing in front of him.
About 12th position, 11th position, Paul Jenkins just got around. James Brandt. Jenkins on the move. Yeah, we got some good action here.
There's a big group of cars in front of Paul Jenkins at the moment. Some of these guys are a lap down. They're not all for position.
That's Kinsella, who is a lap down, trying to get out of the way. Flanagan got underneath him. Branch got underneath him. Jason Galvin trying to get underneath him. He's going to lose momentum. That's going to give a lot of momentum to Paul Jenkins. Jenkins is on the move. Watch Paul. Paul's hungry. Oh, he wanted to go 3 wide, but thought better of it.
Yeah, he got pretty close to the back of Andrew Kinsella right there. Andrew's kind of in a bad spot. He's doing his own thing, but there's nowhere to go. Galvin finally gets around Andrew, and Paul's trying to get around him. Andrew's giving him the low line, but Paul's not quite right down on the bottom to get by him.
He is giving him the low line, just not enough of the low line. Now he gets it done, I think. Jenkins is feeling pretty frisky right now if he can get around him. Here comes James Brandt, wants to do it.
Yeah, that's his teammate right there, bringing him along.
Ooh, I'm going to knock on this particle board right here. We've got ourselves a little bit of a green flag run. Now, going around the car is of George Anzaldo, was Big Joe Hassan, but here comes Harrington. He gets around it, as does Isaiah Dupree. Dupree is having the race of his season. Nice run. Look at him go to the top side. That's not going to work, is it? Will he get some momentum off of here? It tightens up. We'll see how it plays out. I'm going to make a pit stop, says Harrington.
Yeah, I was just going to mention he went 7. He was on lap 76 from his last pit stop, even though we had some yellows. So now he's going to lose 2 laps probably on a pit stop. This is going to makes Adam Blocker look really smart. When we wondered why he pitted earlier, he probably saw what was coming up, that they were going to get a good green flag run. He's still working on 58 lap stint, and Big Joe, Isaiah Dupree, Dan Guerin, they're all in the same strategy as Adam Blocker at the moment.
The problem is he's going to be multiple laps down, not just to Blocker, but guys who are a long way away from pitting, like Chris Lanini, who's only on a 43-lap stint. So Harrington has to hope, beyond hope, that this thing continues to go green. And it could happen, but boy, that is wishful thinking.
And yellow.
Brian Carey. Right in front of Bob Mikas. Bob had nothing to do with this one, though. Lucky that he wasn't an inch taller is Brian Beard, who goes underneath the bouncing Carey. Look at Beard. Woohoo!
And this really hurts Connor Harrington, as he just lost 2 laps pitting in the green. Now all these guys can come in, top off. They're working lap 61 from their last pit stop. And wow, that's really disappointing. I'm sure Connor's not happy about that.
This is like extra tickets at skee ball if you can put the ball in like the 50-point spot here. Puts it over the wall.
And like I said, Adam Blocker is coming into the pit lane, bringing everybody with him.
If only Connor Harris says, if only I could have gone a couple more laps.
He will get 1 lap back. So he's 2 laps down. He'll get a lap back. So it will help him out in that way. But what he really needed is those guys to pit into the green.
Walker missed his stall, so that might cost him a position. We'll see if Hazard gets out before him. And when it is all said and done,
Big Joe getting out in front.
Yep, indeed.
New point man. Working on a roll here after that big win last week.
Indeed, it's coming his way. So there are lots of cars between him and the pace car. They are all get the wave around. Big Joe Hazard sits there in the lead with Blocker behind him.
This will put people like Kinsella back on the lead lap. John Hill. Connor Harrington will gain a lap. Bobby Mikas. Those guys will all gain a lap back here.
We saw Samuel Ryman racing up front for a while, but he was caught in that Connor Harrington pit stop window. He goes a couple laps down, so it didn't work out for him. That's the price you pay when you get yourself up front. You have to make that stop.
Now it's showing Connor Harrington only 1 lap down, so he's going to get the wave around here. So that's going to put him on the lead lap. But he will be mired back in the pack.
Another driver to keep an eye on. If we can go ahead and maybe look at his onboard camera, that would be Dandy Dan Guerin. I hope I have the right driver right, because I think he's in the Midwest Simulations onboard camera machine. Spotlights VS is a system developed from the ground up by iRacers for iRacers. It was built with the goal of providing a non-invasive yet always visible system to complement existing in-sim spotter audio cues. I got it. I know what that means. Spotlights VS works with existing spotter packs, so you don't have to worry about having to trade off your favorite audio spotter if you don't want. You can check them out at MidwestSim.com. I have a custom audio pack that I had Mama Jean, my 96-year-old mother-in-law, make for me. It's a lot of, honey, be careful, there's 3 wide. It's really fun. Don't go too far, you should stop for fuel. Pace car is in. It is. A new leader's taking us to the green flag. It is Big Joe Hazard. Adam Blocker is in second. He was able to get around Harrington earlier. Let's see what Blocker could do with Hassard.
Yeah, Blocker got an amazing start right behind Big Joe. And I don't think it's going to be long before he takes that position, but Joe's doing a good job holding them off at the moment. Those four guys, first, second, through fourth, kind of got a little bit of a gap there to Brian Yazik.
Blocker watching Hassard, checking out his racing line, seeing if there's an opening. Hassard covering the inside like wall-to-wall carpet. Brings that left sides right down on the yellow line. Blocker with nothing for him right now.
No, I'm surprised. I thought Adam was going to be able to get around him right away, and right now, Big Joe's actually pulling away a little bit. So,
coming off
Big Joe.
Yeah, he's got coming off a win, baby. He's chock full of confidence. Is Big Joe Hassard.
He's running a little bit higher line too, so he's making it work about one groove up in 1 and 2. So nice job to him. Isaiah Dupree hanging in there with Adam Blocker and Dan Guerin there. Brian Yazik's closed up the gap a tiny bit. He's not too far away from Dan Guerin.
Mike Rigney races in 6th, again up 24 spots. We've watched him and Flanagan, whose race started in 32nd. Some great chargers going on right now. The top 10 only has 3 drivers that qualified in the top 10. Hassard, Blocker, and Yazik. Go ahead.
I was going to say, go back to 12th and 13th. Brandon Linkerman working to get right on the inside of Stephen Larkamp, as we see on screen. He's doing a good job. Started 35th, now up to 12th. That was a very good move. He had been working on that for a couple of laps I was watching.
You saw Linkerman sitting, Stephen Larkamp sitting 5th in the drop points. Let's look at Bart Workman on the back of Lincoln here. Workman trying to find a way around.
Yeah, he's Steven's struggling just a little bit. Once Brandon got around him, he's brought Bart Workman. Bart's right on his gearbox. Not sure where to go at the moment as Steven's running the low line in 1 and 2. So you can see Bart trying to figure it out. He's got to run the high line to get some clean air on those wings.
Gotta go up to the lead real quick, as a Blocker has waited long enough. Now again, you watch Hassard take that inside line. It might not be the fastest for Big Joe, but it might be the hardest for Blocker to get around. Doesn't quite race as tight through 3 and 4 as he does through 1 and 2 as he does through 3 and 4.
Yeah, he's going into 1 a little bit wide, opening the door for Adam, but then he cuts right down in front of him for the exit. As you can see, he goes up high, then cuts back down. Adam Blocker really nowhere to go at the moment, but he is pushing Big Joe pretty hard at the moment.
Well, you can see how Blocker's able to get down low and get a good drive off.
Ooh, touches that yellow line just a little bit, gets a little bit sideways in 1 and 2, flirting with disaster. But he's working hard to get that first place position back to his name.
Uh-oh. I thought I heard a spinner, but I guess we're still racing. No, we got Andrew Kinsella, a big one.
Yeah, right in front of the leaders, too. Adam Blocker had to get on the binders hard to miss him.
I think a little ghost contact with John Hill. You are absolutely right on the move that Blocker made. Blocker basically parked the car.
Yeah, it looked like a little bit of net code from John Hill. But yeah, right in front of the leaders, and he had to stop. Unfortunately, that's a lot of damage to Andrew's car, so he's probably done for the night. Yeah, as you watch on board here, it just looks like they're not quite touching. Just sends Andrew in, and here comes Adam just on the binders.
Once again, it's interesting. Because iRacing brings out, we have pit stops as everyone coming in. They throw the yellow flag. Dupree was able to scoot by Blocker, as was Dan Guerin. But because I guess the yellow flag was out, they're going to give Blocker back his second position. Basically, park the car out there, but he'll get it back. First out of pit lane, Big Joe Hassard.
Big Joe, Adam did a better job getting in the spot, but Big Joe did even better and keeps that first position. Isaiah Dupree doing a good job up to third spot here. Jason Galvin, Dan missed out a problem in the pit stop because he lost 2 spots there.
We have Brian Carey that we can talk to. His day is done. Brian, it's a long race for you, huh? I guess it's over now.
Yeah, I mean, it sucks to get that far into it and do something stupid like that. Like, I mean, I almost feel mercy for the guys that went out early and, to sit through all those cautions and then just to bin it on the apron there. So I'm glad you guys brought me in. I need to talk about my sadness right now.
It is it's a rough one. What you how is I don't know how to put this correct. How was your bladder holding up? I'll just put it that way.
Oh no, I qualified early for this race, so it gave me a good window for the P break there. I like to think ahead like that.
That's always fine. It's a long one. How's the track feel out there? It looks like the most dangerous thing is getting the car down really low on the apron.
Yeah, well, I mean that's what ended up catching me out in the end. It was kind of later in the run, so it caught me out. But I mean, I don't know if I was doing better than everyone else, but I was actually moving forward because I was able to get down closer to the apron, get some clean air, and make runs on guys. So I got sent to the back after getting up to 5th, got up to about 13th or 13th, I guess, and then got forward. So I don't know. I just, from my point of view, it was not too bad.
Okay, give me your opinion on this. Of course, if there is an attention hog in the series, it is Jason Galvin. And he's decided to stay out there in the lead, but he's been out there for 25 laps. Is Galvin going to be able to stay out in front of these guys on fresh rubber?
No. Well, if he can hold him off for the first 5 laps, he's got a shot. But I know that Joe and Adam aren't going to be messing around. So from a personal team point of view, I hope Adam can use him to kind of get a pick and get ahead of Joe, but no, I don't think he can hold it.
All right. Thanks for stopping in. Sorry your night ended so early. Enjoy the rest of the broadcast. See you in the next race.
All right. Thanks, Sue.
There you have it. Brian Carey. Funny line, Richie. You kind of envious of the guys who go out early. I mean, if you're going to go out, you might as well go out early then. Put in all this effort. Lights are
right. That's the way to do it.
Galvin, Harrington.
Yeah, I was just going to say Isaiah Dupree was in third. We're going green right here, but he got kicked out for unacceptable throughput. That's unfortunate for him.
He's having such a great race. That's even worse than crashing.
That's definitely crashing.
Yeah.
Anyways, back to green flag. And
my
wow.
Goodness. That
Big
was
Joe.
Big Joe Hassard working on Connor Harrington. Here comes Blocker. We got 3 wide. Blocker underneath.
Blocker's kind of plow his way through. Jason Galvin up in the lead. Connor Harrington second. Although Connor Harrington's a lap down still. So he has not shown his second, but he's fast enough to run second. So he needs that. He needs to get around Jason Galvin. That's what he needs to do, and then have a yellow flag, and he'll get that lap back because he's the first car a lap down. Although here comes Big Joe trying to not help him out. They know he's a fast car, so they're not going to give him any quarter.
Oh, this is craziness going on. The best thing that Galvin could have hoped for with the nonsense going on behind him. Hassard now gets it done. Blocker is ahead of Harrington. Here comes, we haven't heard from him in a while. Dan Guerin gets underneath Harrington. That's going to open the door for the blue car of Brian Yosick. Yosick gets under Connor.
Yeah, and Connor has every right to fight for that position because he's fast enough. He was leading, got caught out by that yellow, but now he's fallen back a little bit. And now Adam Blocker working hard on Big Joe. He's going to take the inside line into turn 3 and 4. He's going to have the inside line going into 1. I don't know if Big Joe's going to give it to him. Yeah, not going to give it to him. So Jason Galvin's got everybody creeping up behind him.
They come up on the back of Galvin. The thrill from Oilersville going underneath them now. That is the car of Big Joe Hazard. He gets around Galvin. Blocker comes with him. Blockers has visions of the lead. Blocker dives down low. Big Joe can do nothing with it. Can he get momentum off of 4? No. From 3rd to 1st goes Adam Blocker.
Adam Blocker back to where he wants to be is up front. He fought pretty hard for that position, so feels much more comfortable running in clean air. And give a shout out to Connor Harrington. I know he wanted that lap back. He tried really hard, but eventually he kind of just gave up the ghost and let these guys race.
Galvin now under attack from Dan Guerin. With Yazik watching on, 3 veterans going at it. Remember, Galvin is on old rubber.
Yeah, and he's giving it up there. He's going to let him go. Even if he falls back a couple of spots, he's in a good position to get back on this group when they all pit at the next cycle. Jason Galvin working 35 laps since the last stop. Everybody else working 14, so he definitely has older tires.
Connor Harrington goes around Mike Rigney. It is National Comic Book Day, and a superhero right now is Joe Canagan Flanagan. Flanagan all over the back of Galvin. He's going to lose momentum going high, but he gets it.
Yeah, it's going to bring up Mike Rigney to get by him. James Branch working hard back there as well. We got a little bit of a beehive working for that 7th spot, 6th, 7th spot. Give the position to Mike Rigney. Jason Galvin getting beat up a little bit as Mike Rigney's going to go by him.
You could feel Flanagan exhale, trying to make himself and the car skinnier as he was trying to squeeze it through Rigney and Galvin. Galvin falls down to 7th. Flanagan now up to 6th. Rigney, and great runs from Rigney and Flanagan.
Adam Blocker once again is checked out. He's 2.2 seconds in the lead. The battle really is back to where we were talking about, is basically Flanagan, Galvin holding on, James Branch. They kind of sorted themselves out a little bit, so they're kind of finding their level. But that was some good racing going on. Nice, clean racing. James Branch now going around Jason Galvin.
Galvin doing the best he can, but there's just not a lot of mechanical grip there on those old tires. That's Branch underneath them. Galvin gets a good line, good run through the second line, but it's not going to be enough. Branch picks up a spot.
Got 22 cars on the track still, 17 cars on the lead lap.
As the car count shrinks, as the herd thins, the chances for a longer green flag run increases. We are getting very close to the end of this race, boys and girls. We're coming up on lap 200. We are so close. The guys should be able to go the distance. There will be no more pit stops.
I don't know if they can make it from here, though. I mean, they've been out there for, Adam Blocker's been out there for 25 laps, and that has been some green flag running. So I think we might see, I think we're going to need one more stop to make it to the end.
Well, according to the race analysis, they said they could go 65, so.
We got 65 laps left now, but they've already done 26. So, yeah, there's going to be one more stop. I sure hope we get some green flag stops, because that's going to decide the race right there.
You know, you are correct. My timing and scoring chopped off the last digit. I was looking at 26 laps to go. All right.
Yeah,
Never mind.
If we get some green flag stops, that's going to decide the field, because coming off turn 3 into the pit lane is really tricky, and coming off of that pit lane onto the backstretch is really hard under green flag conditions. So I hope we see it, and we'll really see the skill of these drivers.
My stomach is so disappointed. It thought it was only 26 laps away in post-race interviews from a pizza. Sorry, stomach. You got a little farther to go. Nice battle back here for 10th position. Limkeman being hounded by Beard. With Workman behind.
Yeah, and right behind him, he's got Beard, Workman, and Paul Jenkins. Those are all three guys on the same team. So they're all ganging up on Brandon Lincoln, who once again has done a great job starting 35th up to 10th.
Beard able to take the nice tight line through 3 and 4. Gets a good run down into one side by side. Again, puts the car down low. It looks comfortable. Puts a pretty good bite off of 2. Loses the momentum to the stop side to Lincoln. Lincoln gives Beard room. They come across as a dead heat at the line. The car on the inside should have the advantage here. Let's see if he can finish the deal. Beard, again, gets it down low. He gets really loose. Limkeman with the momentum, and that's going to open the door for Workman if he wants it. Workman will wait. Jenkins watching on. Chris Lanini not far from the show. We've got a change of position for 3rd place. Brian Yazek able to get around Dan Guerin. And Mike Rigney is going to take it as well.
Yeah, Dan Guerin got a little wide off of turn 2, lost some momentum, and here comes Mike Rigney, going to get that spot. Maybe. He's definitely got the inside line going into turn 1. Dan's going to go high, but he's going to have to get off the gas, otherwise that wall comes up real quick. But, man, Mike Rigney's struggling a little bit on the bottom, so here he goes side by side, full lap side by side.
If arrow push means anything, there's nowhere for Joe Flanagan to put his car with 2 cars in front of him, looking for some clean air. Rigney gets the pass made. From 30th to Quattro.
All right, we're working lap 38 since Adam pitted last, so we're creaking it up on it. Everybody's thinned out, running their pace. Let's get some green flag pit stops. I'm sure these guys are going to take it right to the end, but I know they can't make it, so we will see a pit stop at some point.
Tyler Groff goes a lap down, 15 cars on the lead lap. And Larkamp coming in with some damage, making a stop. And I can report that Larkamp put it in the wall coming out of 2, coming out of 4. We don't need to go there. And then immediately took the car down to the apron.
Yeah,
Guerin. And Guerin, yeah.
I was going to say, he's starting to fall back a little bit. He was up to about 3rd. Brian Yazek got by him, and that kind of brought a bunch of people, and now he's stuck behind Joe Flanagan. James Brandt is right behind him. And Adam Blocker is just taking off. He is 4 seconds ahead of Big Joe. That is a quarter to the track if you want to do the math on that.
I see some drivers that are good on new tires, some drivers that are good on old tires, and one driver that is good on any kind of tire, Adam Blocker.
Right now, Brian Yazek, yep, I was going to say, let's go to P2. Brian Yazek sticking his nose in on the inside of Joe Hazard, and here he goes. He's got position going into turn 1. He's got to get out of it a little bit, but he's going to get that run coming off the corner. He's working Big Joe pretty hard. We're getting close to the end, or nobody's going to be given anything right now, but man, give a shout out to Brian Yazek. He started 7th, but we didn't really talk about him much, and now he's brought himself back into the mix.
Well, while these guys have been dancing, somebody has snuck into the party, and it's Mike Rigney. Rigney having a run from 30th. We saw him just get into 4th position. Did not take him long, and now he's looking at 2nd.
This is going to be really good for him if he continues on this. For his points, he's only 36 points out of the Rookie of the Year standing, so this is not This is not something Damon Martinez wants to see.
Joe Branch makes a stop. Groff got lapped. He makes a stop. Side-by-side battle for second right now. Joe Hassard working the higher line. Yasik trying to work the middle to the low line. They get that sorted out. That leaves a lot of momentum for Rigney. Rigney being very patient. He knows that pit stops are coming.
Yeah, pit stops are going to come. The top basically 6 guys are all 49 laps off, but it's Jason Galvin. He's working 70 laps since his last pit stop. He's definitely going to be coming in early. So this is kind of the danger zone. I mean, he knows everybody's got to pit, but if he pits early and then that yellow flag comes out, he's going to get the same situation that Connor Harrington did. And Connor Harrington is actually in the pits at the moment.
Let's stay on this battle for seconds. They come up behind George Anzaldo, who is 3 laps down, racing in 20th. Almost putting it in the wall was Hassard. Took my breath away. They continue to race. They can't get the pass done. Rigney says, I'm faster than both of you, I think, if you just let me by.
Brian Yazik.
Anzaldo may end up being used as a pick here, and there it is.
I was just gonna say that. Brian Yazik saw his opportunity. He's gonna use George as a pick. George has nowhere to go but high. But Brian working that position for about 10 laps and finally gets that P2 position.
Rigney also gets the spot. He moves up to 3rd. Another charger is Joe Flanagan. He races back in 5th, stalking, and Hassard has a horrible exit. That's going to open the door for Flanagan. Flanagan thinks better of it. Right behind Flanagan, careful in that red car, is Dandy Dan Garrett.
Yeah, George Ansaldo kind of caught in this mix. He's just trying to hold his own. And it's kind of squeezed everybody together. Though Brian Yazik, once he got in front of basically Big Joe, he's taken off. Mike Rigney now in the 3rd. He's closing on to Brian Yazik for that 2nd position. Adam Blocker, 6 seconds ahead now. So he's got plenty of space to kind of take it easy.
Rigney cleared Groff, who was the lapped car. So the interval between Yazik and Rigney, just about 0.6 of a second. Hassard is going to get gobbled up by Flanagan. And let's have a little bit more. Hello, it's Connor Harrington. He's several laps down, but he's fast. Connor racing, trying to get back in this.
Yeah, he just came out too, so he's got fresh tires. All these guys have been out there for a long time. So he's going to easily get around them, but he's 3 laps down, so he had to pit in a green, lost those 2 laps. Although if these other guys pit in a green, he'll gain those 2 laps back as long as no yellow comes out.
So here's the deal. It's probably, if you didn't have to worry about a yellow flag falling, it might be good to pit now because I think your lap times will be good, but I don't know if Blocker can afford to do it. And here they come. Because you put yourself in jeopardy of that yellow flag catching you out.
Yeah, you do, but I think Adam's gonna wait it out. You know, see how long he can go. For one thing, the longer you can go, the less fuel you need, so the shorter your pit stop. And track position is everything here.
So Yazik now in 2nd.
And Brian has closed up a little bit on Adam Blocker when Adams had been in traffic, so he's gained a 2nd on him at the moment. He's still 5 seconds back, but he has closed in within 5 seconds.
Joe Flanagan is in the pit exit. He put it in the wall. It won't bring out a yellow. I think he got clipped.
That's exactly what I was talking about. You just lose it coming out of the corner. I did this about 12 times during my practice session. And this is what I said. You come out of this, you take off the pit speed limiter, and away you go. Damage his front wing, so that's going to take him out of the mix.
That was Big Joe Hassard that he spun right in front of.
And Adam Blocker's out there, but Big Joe has just gone around. He pitted, and he's just gone around Adam Blocker. So you can see the difference in tires.
Well, after Big Joe Hassard got around Flanagan, he tried to put it back, the gas down. He spun the car.
Yellow flag.
There it is. Guerin.
Oh, man. Guerin.
right in front of James Brandt. Oh my
And he's
goodness.
going to get going again, so he's not going to lose a lap. And really, because all those guys pitted, there are only 6 cars on the lead lap at the moment. 6 cars. And those guys that pitted are they're not happy right now.
Nope.
They will get the wave around, so they will get back around, but they're going to be they're not good right now. So, give a shout out to Blocker, Yazik, Rigney, Brandt, Jenkins, and Schoen. They're the only cars on the lead lap, and of course they're going to pit, and they're going to be good to go. Here's the replay of what happened here with Dan Guerin. He got down on that yellow line. Once again, it's caught a bunch of people out today, so he's not the only one. Adam Blocker coming into the pit lane and coming down for his final stop, but he's going to be looking real good. And this is why I said he probably is going to stay out, because either he's going to wait for a low fuel or wait for a yellow flag.
So I believe Limpkeman has to make a pit. I'm looking at guys who are a lap down that wouldn't have to. Limpkeman will have to come in. I think you're right. I think we're only going to look at 6 guys on the lead lap, because even the guys who get the wave around are 2 laps down.
Yeah, the 2 guys that were a lap down were Brandon Linkerman and Tyler Groff. So if they stay out, if they pitted, or if they're good, they can get the wave around, then pit. They'll cycle to the back. But right now, we only have 21 cars left. So even though they'll be on the lead lap, they'll still be cycled around, but they'll be on the lead lap sitting in 8th and 9th position. The guys, Joe Branch, Jason Galvin, Brian Beard, Bart Workman, Big Joe, Dan Guerin, all these guys that pitted, they're 2 laps down. Okay, they'll get 1 lap back, but they're still going to be a lap down. So unfortunately, all those guys that pitted early, trying to take advantage of the good tires, just got kind of crapped on a little bit.
Well, we kind of talked about it.
Yeah, it's a risk. I mean, depending on your car's handling, but Adam Blocker and those guys did the right thing, just staying out and hoping for a yellow flag, and it worked out for them.
So you see over there, it'll be, we believe, 7 cars on the lead lap when this is all done. We think Limpkeman and Graff will get their cars. No, maybe not.
Where they are on the queue, but they should be getting their lap back.
No, I think they came out behind the.
They came out behind Adam, and they're stuck.
Yep, they're stuck.
So that's going to put 6 cars on the lead lap. Yep, Brandon Linkerman's coming around. He's 7th spot, 1 lap down. So let's give a shout out. We got Adam and Brian. Okay, they started in the top 10. They've been there all day. Yeah. Let's give a shout out to Mike Rigney, 30th to 3rd. Paul Jenkins, 19th to 4th. Tony Schoen, 29th to 5th. James Brandt, 25th to 6th. That's called not giving up.
And while Jenkins and Schoen and Brent have done a good job of just staying out of trouble, Rigney has been very competitive. He's been working his way and racing fast. And I don't know if he has anything for these guys, but might have something for Yaz.
I don't think he has any. I don't think anybody has anything from Blocker. He's just been on his own deal, but he's definitely fast enough to try maybe take that second position from Brian. So we'll see what happens. We have about 22 laps left.
I don't want to get my stomach excited, but yes, I believe that is correct.
Right,
well, for Adam Blocker, it's Thursday morning. He's racing on the East Coast, and he's on the gas. 15 seconds a lap, 22 of them. We're going to be over fast. Yazik doing a good job of trying to stay with Blocker until they get to corner number 4, where Blocker is so strong.
Yep, 6 cars on the lead lap, like we said. So it's a 6-horse race at the moment. Adam Blocker just pulling away, but really the battle I think we need to watch, maybe not right at the moment, But I think Mike Rigney has a fast enough car to creep back up to Brian Yazik. Although Paul Jenkins is doing a good job staying right behind Mike.
Let's go to 5th, Director. This is a battle for position. This is Brandt getting underneath Showen. And we see the workman had an issue, and that's why we have a caution. Little bit, I think Hassard got him. Although I'm not sure if he was on pace. You know what? I'm going to give Big Joe the pass on this one. I think that Bart's car got a little bit squiggly. Let's watch the car up there. Yeah, it does. See, Big Joe? We're always looking for the benefit of the doubt.
Just a racing incident.
All right, now I don't want...
See his steering wheel there. He had to do a little correction, get off the gas, and unfortunately Big Joe was close enough where he couldn't avoid him.
We got 6 cars on the lead lap. We got 7 cars 1 lap down. I know every position is important, but I don't want to get up. I'm not sure I can get up on my soapbox and preach about guys a lap down causing a yellow flag, but let's see if we can get this thing done with a nice green flag finish here, boys.
Well, we do have 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, and 13th all on the same lap. So they're racing for position. So you got to give them, kind of, a pass. And then so you have almost 2 races going on. You have the top 6, and then you have the next 6.
How about we do this? How about we just park everybody, let the top 6 guys race the last race, and then bring the other guys out when it's all over. See how that sorts out. Now that, again, thinking outside the box. That's what I get paid for here at GSRC. We've got all of our sponsored plugs in. We've done everything. We've talked to one of the title sponsors of the race, and now we just got what are we going to have here? About 14 laps of green flag shootout, right, Richie?
Yeah, pretty close to that. If we get within 4 laps, the race will be over.
Short track racing here on the GSRC, the Lionheart series, one of the shorter tracks they go on. Richie, you ever do any short track racing? You were always you did a lot of road racing, right? Did you?
No, I raced here. I raced here in IndyCar a couple times in real life. It's just as wild as it looks like. It's like a big bowl you're racing around. Although it was a lot of fun, but it is hectic, man. It is so fast. And, when you're out of one corner, you're in the next, and it's tough. But I did have a lot of fun racing here. I think I raced here twice.
We talked about relaxing during the yellow flag runs, and I've talked to you before about that when you race on the big tracks, you're able to catch your breath like at Indy going down the straight. It's got to be a different animal here under green. It's got to be hard to relax, right?
No, there's no relaxing. You're basically, you got to remind yourself to breathe, and it's just so tense all the time. So I know we laughed a little bit about how boring the yellow flags can be, but sometimes they're a welcome relief to kind of catch your breath, kind of reset your mind, know where, because you're going around so fast, and things are happening, and sometimes you just lose track of even where you are. Like, I don't know where the leaders are, I don't know what position I'm in. I'm just racing, and it's tough. But I always had a good time racing here. I think the IndyCars put on a good show.
Indeed, we'll have 13 laps of green flag racing. The lights are off the pace car. Nobody has had anything for Adam Blocker today. Unless a deer runs out on the track, I think this one is Adam Blocker's to lose. We're going green. He gets a good jump. Can Yazik stay ahead of Mike Rigney? Rigney's car's been good. Oh, we got another one. Connor Harrington spun it.
Oh, no. And James Brandt got right into the back of his teammate, Paul Jenkins. right as they went to yellow. Unfortunately, Harrington caused the yellow flag, but James spun his teammate out, although Paul should probably get that spot back.
So as they were, you can see Harrington getting on the gas, car loops around. And then when they were checking up, ouch!
Yeah, James Brandt right here just kind of clips him. I'm sure he's not feels bad about that. That's going to move. It looks like, James is going to get that position, and it's going to put him back behind Tony Schowen.
It's a good job of getting off the brakes as the car goes around. As we spin back, you can see the car get off the brakes. He does a good job of driving backwards, keeping the car off the wall.
Yeah, keeping off the wall and out of traffic.
Mike Rigney saying to Brian Yasek, "You're lucky the yellow came out. I had something for you." Yasek thinking, "No way. I was comfortable in second." Brandt does go back to fourth, Schowen in fifth. Paul Jenkins remains on the lead lap.
Yeah, he didn't hit it.
Yeah.
He didn't hit anything, and he's the last car in the lead lap, so he's in sixth. But I was just checking that myself. He's got a bunch of cars in between him and Tony Schowen. He's got Jason Galvin, Tyler Groff, Samuel Ryman, Bobby Mikas, George Enzaldo, Brian Beard, Chris Lanini, Brandon Linkerman. Then there's Tony Schowen. So he not only lost 2 spots, but there's about 7 guys in between him and the next position.
Honestly, if I was on the box for Jenkins, I'd pit. I'd get to the back of this. You're not going to be able to catch Tony Schowen, and you're in amongst it right now. Don't jeopardize that 6th place finish.
You're right. You're absolutely right. Why not pit? Those guys aren't going to pass you. You'll have fresh tires, and the worst you could do is 6th, which you're in right now.
There you have it. Is he listening to the broadcast as Paul Jenkins comes in?
I guess so. He's coming in.
I hope he gets that 6th place finish. That would be a shame if he didn't. Oh, you know what? He picked up a little damage too. Get that fixed. All right, the lights are still going back and forth, left and right, like the eyes on a cat clock. Let's hope they come off this time. Beautiful Medina Mendez hailing out of Long Beach, California. And indeed, she flicks the switch. The lights go off.
Lights are out, 9 to go. All we need is basically 5 more green flag laps, right?
Yes, that's right. Let's we're going to get this one in. We'll have 7 laps of green flag racing when we go green. If we're going to have a caution, let's have it quick so we can finish this one on the green, but we're going to get the whole thing in. Paul Jenkins does return to the track. He is at the back of the train, sitting in 6th, last car on the lead lap. Bring it home safe. Pace car pulls in. For the final time tonight, Adam Blocker is on the gas, leading them to the green. Brian Yasek is in 2nd with Mike Rigney right behind him. Brandt and Schowen have a chance for their position. Everything else is academic. They get that lap in clean. Brandon Limkeman makes his way around Schowen, but is not for a position. Lanini races in 8th, Limkeman in 7th, separated by Schowen. The front 5 on the lead lap out in front.
Yeah, Brian Yasek doing a good job. He's staying pretty close to Adam Blocker, but Adam's got this thing. He's been the class of the field the whole race. Mike Rigney not able to get close enough to Brian Yasek. Looks like he's probably going to settle for that 3rd spot. Good job to him. although he does have James Brandt kind of behind him, not close enough to make a move. And Tony Schoen in 5th spot, sitting the same. Paul Jenkins in 6th, but he's obviously way back there just trying to stay clean for the last couple of laps here. 4 to go.
Don't know if anyone's
three to
going
go.
Walker. Yasik seems comfortable. Rigney is indeed a lonely person all by himself. I think he's safely safe in 3rd position ahead of Brandt. I hear a spinner. We got a yellow flag. It is Jason Galvin. Samuel Ryman involved in it. I think it starts with Galvin getting into Ryman. Dandy Dan Guerin is doing somersaults. Ryman tries to keep the car going so he doesn't lose position. I think he's going to finish with a part of a car. Meanwhile, the white flag is out.
Yeah, the race is over. Jason Galvin, Sam gave him some space, but Jason just kind of washed up and clipped him. And away goes Jason into the wall, and that just caused people flipping and stuff. So
out of the
that's
final
definitely going
corner.
to end the race.
Seeing the checkered flag, he's been the class of the field all night. He'll have to finish under yellow. It is Adam Blocker. Yasik gets 2nd. A great run for Mike Rigney, 30 to 3rd. The top 5 is rounded out by James Brandt, Tony Schoen, and indeed Paul Jenkins comes across the line on the lead lap in 6th place. We made it to the end, but our broadcast isn't over. We're going to take a short break here on the iRacing Esports Network, but we'll come back and run down the entire finishing order, talk to some of the drivers on the Plasma Tracks Victory Lane post-race show. You're watching the Global Sim Racing Channel.
The Sim Pit is an entertainment channel dedicated to the world of simulated motorsports. The Sim Pit is a leader in providing the sim racing community with news, reviews, interviews, DIY pieces, and instructional videos to make sim racing a better experience for all. Check us out at thesimpit.com or go to YouTube and just search for The Sim Pit.
Welcome back to the Richmond 200, presented by the Midwest Simulations and the Plasma Tracks Victory Lane post-race show. If you're struggling to find something for the person who has everything, do I have the website for you? Plasma-Tracks.com not only produces original racetrack wall art, motorsports trophies, home decor, and motorsports fabrications are also available. You can't understand what they do. You got to see it to believe it, and you can see it all at plasma-tracks.com. Use promo code LRS2019 to get 25% off your order. And here is 100% of the Sim Pit finishing order here for the Richmond 200, presented by Midwest Simulations. Our winner, Adam Blockery, was the class of the field. Brian Yazik is in second, a great run, 30th to 3rd for Mike Rigney. James Brandt and Tony Schowen also had good runs from 25th and 29th to go 4th and 5th. Paul Jenkins gets 6th position. Then we get to the guys that were one lap down. Brian Lipkeman, Chris Lanini, 9th and 10th, Big Joe Hassard. Tough break for him. He was running up front all night. And Tyler Graff. Richie?
Joe Branch, a lap down here in 11th. Brian Beard, he's the first car 2 laps down in 12th. Connor Harrington led some laps, but really got caught out by an untimely yellow. He's going to finish 13th. Dan Guerin tried hard, got up to the front, had some issues at the end, finishing 14th. Jason Galvin finishing 3 laps down here, 15th. George Anzaldo also ran up front, had some good runs, but ends up in 16th. Bobby Mikas, 17th. Samuel Ryman got caught out in the end there in 18th. John Hill, 19th. And Bart Workman is 20th, 18 laps down.
In blackjack and the inside of the pit lane wall, Joe Flanagan. Double duck spot goes to Stephen Larkamp. Isaiah Dupree goes 23rd. The next driver is Andrew Kinsella with Brian Carey in 25th. The next 5 spots, Justin Weaver, Ron Hacker, David Altman, Dustin Wardlow, and the Watchman, Mark Cole.
30th is going to be Christopher, Scotty Johnson, 32nd, 33rd, Damon Martinez, 34th, Michael Goodman, Ken Hacker in 35th, and 36, 266 laps down is going to be Brian Greenlee.
Okay, with that done, I have the honor of talking to our race winner. It is Adam Blocker. I think he probably was able to ponder the meaning of life under all those yellow flag laps he had to run. Adam, you got the meaning of life all figured out now?
Definitely have Richmond figured out. Definitely had it figured out tonight. Put in a great quality lap, and then really just was out front all night and didn't make any mistakes except for, I made one mistake in the pits one time. I slid my box a little bit and got behind Joe, and then but I got him back when Galvin and Harrington stayed out. Was able to take advantage of a little bit of traffic and get him, and then it was just smooth sailing after that.
You don't use the brakes much here, but boy, you used them. You had to basically park the car out on the track to avoid an incident.
Which one? But I think usually probably the Kinsella one. Yeah, I saw him early. I wasn't really worried about avoiding it. I was just worried about people hitting me. It was one of those deals where I thought he was going to go to the low side of the track and slide down the track, and he didn't. So I was kind of committed to the high line. So I just slowed way up because I wasn't sure if he was going to hold the brakes or not. So, but thankfully he did, and I got around the outside.
All right. A long night for you. We'll get you out of here on 2 questions. Congratulations on the win. The championship is even more secure. Keep it going.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. I just want to thank you guys for calling the race. Big shout out to all the admins for putting it on. And thanks to my team, for working with me. And congrats on Tony getting his 3rd top 5 in a row.
Indeed. That was nice to see. Congratulations. Good job. That's your race winner, Adam Blocker. Richie, who you got?
Yeah, we got our 2nd place finisher here, Brian Yazik. Brian started 7th, finished 2nd, was a little quiet early on, didn't hear much from you or see much from you at the beginning, but you really came on strong there at the end.
Yeah, Richie, it was we knew it was a long race going into it, race of attrition. So the biggest strategy that I tried to stick to, in this HPP simulation machine was try not to have to force to make a green flag stop. So we sacrificed track position early because last night in the practice race, I kind of found a little groove up there in the top that if they were bunched up in front, you could really get a good head of steam either coming out of 2 or 4 and really get some moves going. So I wasn't too worried about being back in the pack, just kind of playing it out as the race goes on and trying to get ourselves into a spot to be in a good spot.
Yeah, no, you were definitely really racy there at the end, making some good passes. Unfortunately, like Connor Harrington was leading but pitted and then got caught out by that yellow. So timing those pit stops were key. And basically, Adam had the run of the field, but just kind of following his strategy was key, and that really worked out for you.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of ran off pace or off strategies a little bit. He stayed out a couple of the first stints, and I mean, he was probably, I think, twice in the race, probably 2 or 3 laps away from having to pit, and then a caution came out, so that kind of reset everything. So we were trying to kind of play the longer game because passing is really hard in these cars at the short track. So I knew, and when we had that restart with 20 something to go, and I thought, all right, if it runs long enough, I felt like I had some long run pace to get there to him. But a bunch of those cautions kept everything bunched up, and then we kind of just gave it the best shot that we could, and ended up, just shy half a second short in second.
Yeah, well, you got to be still happy with that second spot, and congratulations. I know it's been a long night for you, so we'll let you go on that, and we'll see you at the next one.
Yeah, be on the road and be in October. So it'll be Breast Cancer Awareness Month for the league. I know it's kind of a big deal. So it'll see a whole bunch of pink paint cars on the track whenever we go out next time. Good points day. Happy for HPP Simulation. Thumbs up, cancer down. Midwest Simulation. I tell you what, I'm going to plug them here, and I know Scott's going to be real happy about that. If you don't have a set of spotlights from Midwest Simulation, I don't know what you're waiting on. Plenty of times I could clear myself before the spotter would kick in, and it was because of the spotlights sitting up my monitor. So go out there. We got a promo code. I'm sure Soup knows what it is because he's their promo code guru. So go out there, give that a look. And I think Blocker won his, so that's another set of lethalness that he has. But we'll see everybody down the road, and hope everybody had a good night.
Awesome. Thank you, Brian. Soup, who you got?
We're going to wrap it up with one more interview. We're going to talk to our 6th place finisher today. It is Paul Jenkins. Paul, 8th place last week, 6th place today. What you been drinking at the house?
I must have figured out something because I'm getting some good spots here. But I think a lot of that was strategy, and came down to that. But honestly, the car felt good. I just spent a little too much time looking the wrong way down the track, having spun it early, and then got spun up again. And fortunately, it was Jay who got involved, and that sucks. But I feel bad, but I feel bad for him. I've been there, so.
Let's talk strategy. What Richie and I were talking, because we were pulling for you to finish on the lead lap, and on that last restart after the spin, you were right back in the mix of everything. And I go, he should really just get out of there and get back to the back. Sure enough, he went in, got repairs, and you could just bring it home from.
Yeah, discretion a better part of valor there. I knew I had some damage. Somebody had said I had bent up rear wing. I contemplated. I was like, maybe I could just hold on to it, but there's nothing lost by going in and getting replaced. It's 15 seconds, and so I figured I'd just go in and just get it done and get some fresh tires on there and at least be able to hold on to the 6. It's no harm, no foul there. So, it just made more sense.
All right. Well, 8th place last time, 6th place tonight. That means you're going to be in 4th next time if the pattern continues. Good luck.
Brother,
Let's get the 4th place.
Brother, I'll take it. Thanks, guys.
Paul Jenkins finishing 6th, last car on the lead lap. That's going to do it for us here at the Global Sim Racing Channel. Let me scroll down here to the bottom of this script so I can thank all the people I need to thank. And we're going to start by thanking, I know who it is. It's First Medical Equipment. Of course it is. They've been the source of medical supplies in the Burlington area for years because of their superior commitment to provide the absolute best in quality and customer service. Richie?
Sim Experience. Let's thank them. Sim Experience, the team behind the AccuForce Pro V2 direct drive steering systems, by providing unparalleled realism and the most advanced tuning features on the market. The AccuForce provides a significant advantage to any sim racer. It can also make for an effective training tool for real-world drivers. For more information on the entire Sim Experience ecosystems, including their GS5 seat, Stage Series motion systems, and Sim 5 software, visit www.simexperience.com and use that promo code SimXLion to get 5% off Sim 5 software.
Butt Kicker. Their products add instant immersion to any game, unlike a subwoofer that moves air and loses accuracy and force. Butt Kicker products moves actual mass, producing a haptic immersion, and that's powerful and accurate. Butt Kicker products add that missing drive-to-car connection, bringing more realism and immersion to your sessions. See all the family of products at thebuttkicker.com. Use promo code LION25 to get 25% off your order. Mr. Hearn, be careful because they didn't update the script for the next part. Good luck.
To contact any of the sponsors you see on the screen right now, go to LionheartRacingSeries.com. Click on 2019 sponsors. Read or scroll to the bottom where you can click on that company logo. The iconic original music that lets your ears alert your eyes when you're watching a GSRC production comes courtesy of June Lalonde. See the screen for how to contact her. On the screen now are just some of the company's equipment and software that made this broadcast possible. The Lionheart series returns in 1 week.
I don't know when it returns, to be honest.
It's actually it's a couple weeks. It's
Okay.
not yeah.
There it is, October 9th.
GSRC and IESN will be there to bring you all the action. We hope you join us.
All right, on screen are some of the upcoming broadcasts, so check those out and mark them down on your calendar. If you'd like more information, go to GlobalSimRacingChannel.com. We're also on Facebook at Global Sim Racing Channel, Twitter at GSR Channel, and Instagram at GSRC_Graham. And while you're there, go ahead and become one of our YouTube subscribers by hitting that big red button. Finally, on behalf of the entire crew, that would be Richie, Amjad, and Doug, I'd like to thank you all for watching, as it was indeed Adam Blocker picking up yet another win here at the Richmond 200, presented by Midwest Simulations. With that said, we're off to have fun storming the castle. So until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.